you're vibing. Snapchat is your typing. Tell me what you're writing before I get excited. Words cannot describe how I run away, but I want to stay. Say you need some space, but I can see you've changed. Your mind's rearranged. You are not the same. The late.
Hey y'all, what y'all just saw in the last clip was, as the screen said, a 370-pound hack squat. Just another gym update, y'all. I've been making a lot of videos recently. I know y'all haven't seen videos in a while, right? I know it seems like I'm hammering them out like crazy, but really the motivation was that 300-pound deadlift. That initial video y'all saw me post recently. You know, I did that video because, as I told y'all, I was in the gym and I went up 300 pounds, and then I started dealing with a lot of gang stalking and whatever else was taking place. And so it just kind of made me realize it's not like I didn't know that already, but it kind of made me feel like, okay, this is a pretty impressive lift. Let me record this. And so I decided to record it. The last time I recorded a deadlift was last year, like midway through the year. It was a 250-pound deadlift, and I didn't even actually record myself doing the deadlift. I really just took a recording of the barbell with the weight on it. So now I actually said, well, let me record myself actually doing the deadlift, especially since I'm, at such a heavy weight, 300 pounds. Excuse me, that's a big deal. So I was like, let me take a video and post it, update my social media accounts. So I put it to YouTube and I put it to Facebook. I put it to Facebook first. And so that's kind of what led to these recent videos. I was like, okay, well, I might as well record myself doing squats too, because the last time I recorded a squat was all the way midway through last year as well, right? It's been a long time. I'm doing a lot of heavy lifts in the gym and staying to myself like I always do. I don't really post like that. I see people posting all the time, which of course is normal and understandable if you're a workout person. You want to update people or just for your own record, keep a record of your journey. A lot of people do that. I don't do that, especially as a target with all the crazy stuff that I deal with. I don't do that. I really just stay to myself and I just work out and I make landmarks and I make progress and I just keep to myself. But I decided with that 300-pound deadlift, I was like, let me record this because I think this is a pretty impressive lift. And then when I recorded it, I was like, well, let me update y'all, right? My audience here on YouTube, and let me update my Facebook with all the lifts I'm doing now. So I decided to do that 230-pound squat video that y'all saw as well. And then now I'm doing a hack squat video. And actually with the Smith machine, I can go as heavy as 270 pounds, y'all. I did make a video midway through last year. All of those videos I'm talking about, all of those took place, I would say midway through last year. I made a few videos similar to what I'm doing now. I just had a moment where I was making videos and then I stopped. That's what I do. I'll do some updates and then you won't hear from me for a while as far as updates go. You hear from me, of course. But you won't see videos updating you on anything until I make some significant progress again. So anyway, the heaviest I can go on the Smith machine with the squatting is 270 pounds, but not ass to grass, barely to parallel, actually, if I'm keeping it real. I can go right above parallel with the 270 pounds. And then with 250 pounds, which I did not record, I can go comfortably ass to grass with that. But I didn't record that. I ended up just recording the 230 for y'all to see. I just wanted it to be seamless and smooth, and the 230 is heavy for me, but it's a comfortable heavy, if that makes sense, on the Smith machine. Then with the V-squat machine, which y'all have not seen a video of, that was the other squat machine that I used to use before I switched over to the hack squats. With the V-squat machine, I was getting all the way up to 320, and that was the heaviest I had ever gone. I know I could have gone heavier, I just chose not to. But I explained to you all in the last video, no, it was in this video, because in the next few clips, you're going to actually hear me documenting some gang stalking that took place. The same day yesterday, when I made that hack squat video you saw in the last clip, you're going to hear me talking about why I switched over from the V-squat machine to the hack squat machine. But anyways, I've switched over to the hack squat machine. For the last week, I've been doing hack squats instead of V-squats, and then, of course, doing the Smith machine squats. And so I decided to try to go heavier with the V-squat machine because, it's not V-squat. I meant to say hack squat at that part, y'all. Because remember, I just said I switched over from the V-squat machine to the hack squat machine. So the heaviest I had ever gotten as far as squatting goes on any machine was the V squat machine. But now that I switched over to the hack squat machine, I decided to go heavier than 320. So again, just for clarity, the two machines that I'm using now are the the hack squat machine, which is what you saw at the beginning of the video, and then the Smith machine, which is what you saw in the last video that I posted, where I was squatting 230 pounds. It's putting more pressure on the quad muscle, and I feel like I've been missing out on that. You know, I didn't even realize. I explain in the next few clips. You're going to hear the difference between the V squat machine and the hack squat machine. I don't want to redundantly repeat it here at the beginning of the video. But I realized that it hits, long story short, the quad more, the hack squats. So I've been doing it for the last week, and I've just been playing around with what weight feels comfortable to me. And because I've been training my legs hardcore consistently for the last year and a half, my legs are super strong. And so I realized I could go all the way up to 370 comfortably. And so that's what y'all saw. That's basically my PR right now on the hack squat machine. That's as heavy as I can go on that hack squat. I actually am confident in the fact that I could go heavier. I think I could get up to 400, to be honest with you, but I haven't tried it. And 370 actually feels challenging to me. So that's what that last clip was, y'all. This is a little talking, just, giving you an explanation on what you just saw, even though it's self-explanatory. That first clip was just me doing 370-pound hack squats. I did it for 12 reps, 10 reps straight through and through, and then 2 reps that I did after. I had to stop because I was out of breath. I was wearing the altitude training mask. I had to stop after 10 reps, catch my breath. I stopped the video, and then I did the last 2 reps. And also, you might have noticed this. You only saw 9 reps. The video cut off because I put it to Facebook. The Facebook story doesn't allow for too much time when it comes to these videos, so it cuts off after a while. So it cut off midway through the 9th rep, or right after I did the 9th rep. That's what y'all saw in that beginning clip. So that's what it is, y'all. That's what this video is. It's just another gym update. This is probably the last video you'll see from me in the gym in a while. If the Most High spares my life, you will see some in the future when I make more progress. But I'm not the type to make videos all the time. I typically, like I said, just consistently work, and then when I make some major progress, I'll come through and I'll drop an update, right? So just look out for that, but I will keep y'all updated with my life and the targeting and those things that I often keep you all up to date with. So anyways, in the next clip, y'all are just going to hear me documenting some gang stalking activity that took place in the gym yesterday while I was making that video, that hack squat video that you saw in the beginning of this video. So I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Peace out. Another quick correction, y'all. In that clip you just listened to, I said I was doing a pretty impressive lift. That's poor grammar. I meant to say just an impressive lift. All right, moving on to the next few clips, y'all. It's just 3 more clips. They're pretty short. Look, poor grammar again. They're relatively short, and just documenting, like I said, gang stalking activity that took place yesterday when I was doing that 370-pound hack squat. Come back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sharifa, and my poetry name is Nulali. If you're new to the channel, please check out the links located in the description box and comment section. And in both locations, you'll find an identical set of links that lead to videos that talk about what started my targeting in 2020, as well as videos that talk about the tactics used on targets, the technology used on targets, and just info about the program in general, y'all. I've been targeted, like I told y'all, since 2020. So for the last 4.5 years. But I was not cognizant of the targeting until the end of 2022. And if you'll listen to my story, you'll hear how I learned that I was a target. So since the end of 2022, I've been making videos. I've been doing research. I've been, compiling videos with info, trying to help other targets so that they can, early on in the targeting, know how to move. Had I known some of the things that I know now, my targeting would have never gotten as bad as it did. And it's really just a trick bag, y'all. I've said this before. It's like set up for you to fail. And so if you know certain things ahead of time, it can help prevent things from getting so bad for you. But I mean, it's really just, it's just one of those type of, it's like a catch-22. Once you're in this thing, it's just like completely unfair, the things that happen. And so even if you're equipped with the knowledge of how the thing works, you still might end up getting caught up in having some of these reactions that most targets have, and you still might end up getting caught up in some of the everyday tactics that's used on us. It's just very, very comprehensive, this program. And it was put together decades ago, y'all. So they've had time to perfect the thing. It's used all over the world, in every nation in the freaking world. You know, it's like one of those United Nations type of things, even though it derived in one area of the world. Every nation and every government uses it. So just understand it's this very well connected, and it's like a gridlock system. And, you know, it's just very scary when you get thrown in it. There's no due process. You know, once you do get thrown in, it's almost as if you have no rights. You know, it's very scary to get thrown in this thing. I'm telling you, you have to be careful. And you're real blessed if you learn about this thing before you get targeted, so that you know how to move in the world. Had I known this thing existed, I would have been so careful. I'm telling you. I would have been so careful. I'm telling you. I mean, it's way deeper than just not getting into trouble and not committing crime. Like, you can get targeted just for pissing off the wrong person. And if the person's well connected enough, then you get thrown in this thing, and that's how it works. Anyway, so back to what I was saying though, y'all. This is a negative video, unfortunately. It's about targeting. The last two videos were positive ones. They were workout updates. Y'all see I'm doing some major lifts in the gym. I've gotten stronger. Been working out for a year and a half consistently, and just pushing the envelope, and every week just trying to do more and more and more. And so I'm getting stronger. And so that's basically what those last two videos were, just kind of like an update showing y'all where my strength is now, because I don't post all the time like that. I'm not one of those people that go to the gym, and I'm not knocking those people. You know, everybody has a different way that they operate, and it's supposed to be a free country. So you should be able to do the things you want to do as long as you're not harming anyone or committing a crime. So I'm definitely not judging anyone that decides to post videos all the time. I'm not coming for you or knocking you if you do that. But I'm just saying I'm not even one of those people that do that. Like, I'm doing some pretty incredible lifts for a skinny girl. Like, I'm lifting some heavy ass weight. And it's not like I'm somebody that posts videos all the time. I could be like some sort of showboat, like how they try to, with the targeting, try and, you know, paint this false narrative that I'm a narcissist and a show off and this and that. Nah, I like my privacy, and I really, 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 really crave my privacy, and I miss my privacy badly. Anyway, I'm not one of those people that's showing off and making videos and this and that. It's been months, y'all, since I've taken a video. I'm in there squatting 300 pounds, all kinds of stuff, and I don't record myself. It's been months. And then the other day when I did that deadlift, the 300-pound deadlift, you know, all the hooped-a-lot with the GANGSTALKIng that was happening in the gym kind of made me realize, well, this is really an impressive lift. I should record this. Like, I haven't recorded in a while. Let me record this. And so that's actually what led to me recording it in the first place. And so I recorded it and I posted it on Facebook. And that's what it was, you know. And so then I just kind of, you know, I got a good reaction from it, which it doesn't matter if I get a reaction or not. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm going to post it anyway. And I saved it to my page because I'm really into this stuff. Like, I'm into working out. Despite the targeting, I have always been into working out and athletics. Anybody that knows me knows that about me. That's like one of the main characteristics of Sharifa. I'm a tomboy and I like athletics. I like sports. I like working out, etc. This is not, you know, for show. This is me. So anyways, it's just craziness. I can't deal with it, man. So anyways, y'all, I decided to finally give like an update, a workout update, because I hadn't posted a video in months. I know y'all see it on YouTube. I haven't posted a workout video. Aside from those two that you recently saw, it's been months since I've posted a workout video. And that's the same thing with Facebook. And so anyway, I decided to post those two videos, and it's like it created this hooped-a-lot. They started attacking me with the technology. You know how with the shadow networking AI software, and I've talked about this in prior videos, and that's part of the information in the description box and comment section, videos on how the technology works. With the technology, when you're targeted, they can hack all of your technological devices. So y'all, there's this crazy like vampire like person in this neighborhood. I don't know who it is, right? I know the house is coming from, right? But I've seen every person whose face that I've seen that lives in that house leave the house, and there's somebody in there that doesn't come outside. And all day long, they stare at me and they hammer and they hammer and they hammer. They do this noise campaign with a hammer all day long, and they're completely anonymous. I'm starting to call them a vampire because I don't know who they are. And now I'm making this video and they're on top of me. They're going bam, bam, bam. Like they're losing it. Like they're having a tick in their head or something. They're hammering like crazy. It's just really creepy stuff when you get targeted, man. You have all kinds of people that have access to you. It's very scary. Anyway, I don't know who the person is. It's like I know the house is coming from, and I know the faces I've seen in that house, and I'll literally see every face that I typically see come out of that house leave, and the hammering is still happening. So it's somebody in there that doesn't come outside. Like, it's just like, I don't know if it's somebody they have in the basement that has access to me or what it is. It's really scary. Anyway, y'all, on a brighter note, it's just because it's like in the background. I'm trying to talk into the video. I'm just hearing bam, bam, bam in the background. It's just like really irritating. Anyway, so back to what I was saying though, y'all. So yeah, it's just technology that they have where they can hack all of your technological devices and send you things to sensitize you. I've talked about this in prior videos. I've even posted videos showing you an example of how it works. And I've shown you them doing it to me as well as doing it to other targets. So anyways, what they do is, just to give you a recap of what they do is they'll, like for instance, in your recommended on YouTube, you know how with the algorithm, typically the videos you see in your recommended kind of relate to the things you like to watch. So if you're someone like me and you like to watch, like a lot of workout videos, etc., oftentimes the videos in the recommended will be about working out. Or if you're like me and you're into health and fitness and you like to watch like holistic videos and, natural healing videos, a lot of the videos will look like that. But then what they'll do is they'll send you videos that relate to the things you watch. But in the videos, you'll notice like a certain theme, whatever they're trying to sensitize you to. So for instance, if they're trying to sensitize you to stealing, like let's say there's this false narrative that you're a thief. This is just an example. You'll be getting those authentic workout videos that relate to the algorithm of what you typically watch. But for some reason, there'll always be the theme of stealing in it. Like you'll look at a video that says how to get bigger legs. And then in the video, the guy, the fitness coach that's teaching you how to get bigger legs, he'll randomly start mentioning how this weekend someone stole his this and that. And you'll notice every video you click on has the theme of stealing. That's just an example. Like they can literally do that, sensitize you through the technology, and they can insult you and humiliate you via the technology as well. A part of the technology that's used on you is not just that AI shadow networking software where they're sending you subliminal messaging, but they're also surveilling you 24/7 via insect drones. There are also videos in the description box and comment section that talks about that form of technology as well. I have military videos where I talk about the MAVs, which is an acronym for micro air vehicles. So it's these little mosquitoes, and they use real insects, y'all. The explanation is in the video how they do it. But these insects are microchipped and, they have cameras in them. Some of them can actually inject you with nano, the mosquitoes. So when you're getting bit up by mosquitoes, and if you're a target, you're likely getting injected with nano. They've likely already put the RFID chip in you via these mosquitoes. But anyways, this is how they surveil you. And there's a live feed happening. So via these drones, they're surveilling you and they're also projecting this live feed of you to the people around you. So you might wonder how are the neighbors seeing what I'm doing? Like you might notice you go to pick something up and you hear noise campaign outside. That's because they're actually watching you via these insect drones. And in my case, I have a unique target, and y'all, I've told y'all this already. I'm on a small island where, to my knowledge, no one else has ever been targeted, which is completely ludicrous to me, but I'm not going to go into it again in this video, the craziness of it all. But nonetheless, they're projecting it to the whole island. It's a population of about 44, rough estimate, about 44 to 45,000 people. Everyone has access to these cameras that are on me, and beyond the island too, because it's actually now gone to other islands. It's spread to other islands. It's in the States, in the mainland. My targeting is viral, y'all. It's one of the most covert viral things to have existed. So anyways, y'all, so it's like this tactic they used to humiliate you, though, and they were doing it to another target too. Like I said, I have a video up where I showed, I think it's in the description box and comment section as well, where I showed them doing it to him too, where via the technology, just how I told you they can send you recommended videos with certain themes in it, they'll send themes, subliminally insulting my looks or subliminally insulting me, and it's obvious that that's what's going on. And then you'll hear noise campaign in the background, so everyone's staring at you while this roast fest via the technology is taking place. And they're doing that to me hardcore in 2023. And I want to say like the beginning of 2024, mainly 2023 though. They started doing it again recently, y'all. Real bad. Ever since I posted that video, that deadlift video, the 300-pound one that you saw, I need to blow my nose, y'all. Ever since then, they have been attacking my looks like crazy with the technology. I think because I don't know what it was, right? I'm not going to go into what I think it is, but they have been attacking. It's just a tactic. They want to keep you in this state of like low self-esteem. And so if you post something that looks poppin', or, you know, it gets a good reaction or whatever it is, then just beware, you are going to get attacked. And so with the technology, they have been like attacking my looks, like really attacking me nonstop for the last few days, just completely trying to like destroy my self-esteem. It's ridiculous, and it's so obvious too. I'm like, damn, they even play it off. Like, at least wait a few weeks after the video to start attacking me. Like, you can do it right away? Come on, man. So anyway, hold on, y'all. Let me blow my nose. I'll be right back. I'm back, y'all. Yeah, so it's just been a shit show. Like, no pun intended. You know, like to use the word shit on me. If you've been following me, you'll know that that's one of the words they've sensitized me to, among other things. But anyway, so that's what it's been. They've been just like attacking me like crazy, y'all, via the technology, trying to humiliate me, like this humiliation campaign. And then, of course, the same regular gang stalking that I've been dealing with in the gym ever since things happened with that main guy that I've made recent videos about. Those of y'all that have been keeping up with my videos, you're familiar with the situation. If not, y'all check out my videos, you know, get up to date with who I am, check out my story, and then check out these recent videos I've been posting, the gym videos, so you can hear what happened with that dude, the trainer, at the end of last year, that has led to some major gang stalking in the gym all of this year, basically. And it's still happening, you know. So it's just a combination of external and internal gang stalking. And when I say internal, I'm talking about like the technology and the things that are in your personal space, and then the external, you know, the people outside that have access to you via these cameras that constantly do noise campaigns, or even come into your personal space when you leave the house, because they have the option to do that. They have access to you. You pull up to the store, they can pull up and stand next to you and do anything. Like, you have no privacy, no protection in this targeting. It's a nightmare. So anyways, nonetheless, y'all, so that's what those last two videos were about. It was just a workout update because I haven't posted one in a while, and I felt accomplished with the lifts I was doing. It was just a regular update, and it's led to like extra whippings, I guess you could say, with the programming, you know, and humiliation tactics, etc., etc. So anyways, y'all, I went to the gym today, and I've started doing hack squats. You know, I switched from using, in prior videos, I told y'all that I do 2 sets of squats when I go to the gym. I squat on the Smith machine, like what y'all saw in that last video that I posted. And then I typically, before, this is what I was doing, I would squat on something called a V squat machine. And I just recently learned, I'm still learning. Yeah, I know a lot about fitness, and I know a lot about working out and, you know, etc., but there are still things I don't know. I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur that just loves the sport, you know, and I do my research and stuff. But there's still things I don't know, and I'm learning. And so I just recently, I knew about the hack squat machine, and I knew that it was good for the quads. But when I had used it last year, last year, we're in 2025. It was last year. When I had used it last year, I didn't like how it felt on my knees. I just didn't really like the feel of it. And I realized now the discomfort was because more pressure is going on the quad muscle. And so the hack squat machine is good for building the quad muscles, where the V squat machine, which is the machine I was using before, is good for building the hamstrings and the glutes. And so I didn't know that. And so the second set of squats I would do, aside from the Smith machine squats, were squats on the V squat machine. And that was the machine I was telling y'all was easy for me to go heavier on, because you didn't have to worry about balance. You only had to... Y'all, that's predictable. As soon as I start talking about the actual lift, noise campaign starts outside. That's why you heard shuffling and me getting off the bed and trying to move. Because as you can see, this is a clip I made already. I made this yesterday, and now I'm just trying to put the clips together, so I'm doing a recording of all the clips together. Let me rewind a little bit to where I started talking about the hack squats. I might go a little bit too far back. I'm going to try not to. The machine I was using before is good for building because more pressure is going on the quad muscle. Last year, not last year, no, I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur that just loves the sport, and I do my research and stuff. But there's still things I don't know and I'm learning. And so I just recently, I knew about the hack squat machine and I knew that it was good for the quads. But when I had used it last year, not last year, well, yeah, last year, we're in 2025. It was last year. When I had used it last year, I didn't like how it felt on my knees. I just didn't really like the feel of it. And I realized now the discomfort was because more pressure is going on the quad muscle. And so the hack squat machine is good for building the quad muscles, where the V squat machine, which is the machine I was using before, is good for building the hamstrings and the glutes. And so I didn't know that. And so the second set of squats I would do, aside from the Smith machine squats, were squats on the V squat machine. And that was the machine I was telling y'all was easy for me to go heavier on because you didn't have to worry about balance. You only had to worry about your strength. And so I was able to get all the way up to 320 pounds on the V squat machine. And that's the heaviest I've ever gone on that machine. And that at the time was the heaviest I had ever squatted. So today, y'all, I squatted on the hack squat machine, and I've been doing that for the last week because I had recently saw some videos talking about how to build the quads via squats. And I saw that the difference between the hack squat machine and the V squat machine is that the V squat builds more so the back of your legs, like your hamstrings, your glutes. And the hack squat machine focuses on the quad. So you're getting more stress and pressure on the quad. And so I was like, oh my God, that's why I didn't like how it felt when I did it last year. I wasn't even focusing on the fact that I was feeling that on the quad. I was feeling that on my knees. But my knees are so much stronger now. I was like, let me give it another try. And so about a week ago, I gave it another try, wrapped my knees up. I have some good knee wraps. I didn't feel it on my knees, but I felt all the pressure on my quad. And I was like, oh man, this is what I've been missing out on. This is what's going to really take, building my legs to the next level. And so what I did was I switched my routine. So I stopped doing my squats on the V squat machine and I started using the hack squat machine. And so I noticed like a major difference in the way that I was feeling when I left the gym. Like I was feeling way more sore in my muscles. Typically I do all this kind of stuff in the gym and it's like my legs have gotten so freaking strong and accustomed to what I was doing. It didn't even matter how many reps I did, how heavy I did, I could leave and I wasn't feeling anything. And I started doing the hack squats and I started feeling soreness in my legs for the first time in months. I felt soreness in my legs. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is what I needed to be doing. So anyways, I said, well, damn, let me push it and see how heavy I could go. Because I started out doing 180. I was like, let me not go too heavy since it's all this pressure on the quad and on my knees and I'm relatively new to using this machine. I realized 180 was feeling kind of easy. I didn't feel like I was challenging myself enough. So I said, let me just try 230, see how it feels. I did 230 and it felt like moderate weight to me. Like how it feels on the Smith machine when I'm squatting almost like a free weight. Because the Smith machine I use is kind of almost like free weight, even though it's not. When I'm squatting there, right, and I get to 140 feels like moderate weight to me. And then 230 is heavy to me on the Smith machine. On the hack squat and on the V squat, because I don't have to worry about balance and I only have to worry about strength, I can go heavier. So I noticed the 180 was feeling like how 140 feels to me on the Smith machine. So I was like, nah, man, let me go heavier. So I did the 230. I'm like, the 230 is feeling easy too. The 230 was feeling like how 180 feels to me on the Smith machine. So I said, let me go heavier. So I did 270. I said, okay, now I'm kind of feeling like, I'm getting a challenge here. This feels like something. So I started doing the 270 and I said, well, let me see if I could go heavier than that. And so I just added 2 45-pound plates on both ends and took it up another notch. And then I added also 2 5-pound plates. And so I went up to 370 and I was able to do 12 reps at 370. I was like, damn, like this is, this is feeling like a challenge now. This feels like how 230 feels to me on the Smith machine. I was like, this feels like I'm challenging my quads now. So I changed up the routine to doing 72 squats on the hack squat machine. And I do 2 sets of 12 at 230. No, I do 3 sets of 12 at 230. Then I do 2 sets of 12 at 270. And then my last set of 12 I do at 370 pounds. I've changed it again, y'all. Now I actually do just all 5 sets. So the first 60 reps, all 5 sets of 12 reps at 270. And then I do the last set of 12 at 370. So I'm doing 72 squats in total And I kind of feel like I'm doing something. You know, I'm almost to 400 pounds. And I was looking at some videos just for comparison of people doing hack squats and how heavy they're going and stuff. And I just typed in 400-pound hack squats to see what it was looking like with other people doing it. And I saw the guys doing it, and they're only doing like 5 reps, you know, and then they tapping out. At 400, I'm like, I'm doing 12 reps at 370. I'm like, damn, I didn't even realize my legs were so strong is what I'm saying. And I realized why. It's because that's the only thing I train. I've been training for a whole year and a half consistently, and I don't train my upper body. I'm just naturally built up there. I know you guys saw the videos. The only thing I train is my lower body. The only training my upper body gets is when I'm doing deadlifts, because you know that's kind of like a compound movement. So your upper body, your arms are getting a little something, but the main muscles getting worked when you deadlift, or if you're doing it correctly, is actually your leg muscles. So anyways, my legs are super strong. Are actually your leg muscles, not is. Like, I'm skinny and, you know, you wouldn't even know I was as strong as I am. But my legs are super strong. And so I was like, whoa, okay, 370 actually feels good. Like, it feels like 230 to me, how 230 feels to me on the Smith machine. So that's going to become like a permanent part of my routine. So I said, this is incredible, though, that I'm doing this for 12 reps. Let me record myself. You know, so I decided to record myself. I said, let me do it today. I said I was going to do it today, right? I was going to record myself today. I wear a mask, y'all. I wear an altitude training mask. I know y'all saw that when you saw those last 2 videos I posted. That is incredibly difficult. Sorry, y'all. I had to pause it. A vehicle was driving by while I was talking about wearing the altitude training mask. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and unpause it now. Too. Because another thing they do to antagonize me when I'm working out, right? These same insect drones that I told you they use to surveil you on, they know that I know at this point now that that's the camera that's surveilling me. So they're very blatant about using it on me. They'll fly it in my face to antagonize me, all kinds of stuff, especially when I'm in the gym. So sometimes when I'm panting, after I've squatted like 12 reps with big heavy weight on my back, with the altitude training mask on my face, and it's hard to breathe through the mask, I'm under the AC trying to catch my breath. They'll fly the fly in my face. I'm like, you know what I'm doing, not to toot my own horn, but you know what I'm doing is, you know, like pretty impressive. Like, I'm squatting all this heavy weight. I'm doing so many reps and I'm wearing a mask. I'm not trying to show off. I'm just saying you're flying the thing in my face to antagonize me, as if my breathing heavy and being out of breath is something that I should be ashamed of or embarrassed of. When I'm doing something that makes you out of breath anyways. Lifting heavy weight puts pressure on the vagus nerve. And so it makes you get really winded. It is a form of cardio. It's like inadvertent cardio. It's an anaerobic workout. It's not aerobic, but it is a form of cardio. And that's why you see a lot of those guys that are lifting and they go super heavy, you'll see them pass out. Like when they do a super heavy deadlift, if they're not doing the breathing technique properly, they'll pass out. Sometimes you'll see a guy or a girl squatting super heavy and you'll see them like get lightheaded and pass out because it puts pressure on your chest. It makes you out of breath. And I'm doing that with an altitude training mask on my face. So of course I'm getting out of breath. You know how impressive what I'm doing actually is? I'm not somebody that shows off. But I'm like, you're flying the fly in my face and I'm doing all this heavy weight with this thing on my face. Like, are you serious? So anyways, whatever, right? I did just laugh when they put the thing in my face. But a thing that I do that I notice helps is I drink cayenne pepper with water. Because cayenne pepper is good for the cardiovascular system. It opens the blood vessels and it gets things pumping and flowing. So even like if, God forbid, you know, you're having something with your heart happening, I'm not going to say like a specific thing, but you know, scary things that can happen with the heart. Studies have shown that if you take cayenne pepper with hot water, you can actually save your life. It will actually open up the blood vessels and stop whatever it is that's happening and save your life. Y'all, by the way, not to cut into the video. Actually, let me not do this because I'm going to mess things up. When this ends, we're going to take a quick intermission and head over to my Facebook because they're still using tactics in the background to deter from the accomplishment I made of lifting some weight. That's what this is all about. Angry because I'm lifting weight and I made a couple videos. That's what this is all about, why they're attacking me ruthlessly and trying to tear me down. So we're going to go slide over to my Facebook after this clip. And I'm going to put up some pictures of me, no filter, with the mask off. And then we'll slide back and play the last clip. Has been shown to specific. What they want to do is interrupt the video, which is what they're successfully doing. Because now look, I'm stopping and I'm talking to you. And this is deterring from what I was saying, right? This is interrupting what was being said in the video. But you know, scary things that can happen with the heart. Studies have shown that if you take cayenne pepper with hot water, you can actually save your life. It will actually open up the blood vessels and stop whatever it is that's happening and save your life. It has been shown to do that. So even in the case of working out, where that pressure is on your chest, right? And you feel like you might pass out, the cayenne pepper with the water helps open things up. And so it helps me. I do that and I do oregano oil sometimes. They both kind of have like similar effects. So I do those and then I go underneath the AC. Something about the AC, you know, even though it's heat that opens the blood vessels, not cold, for some reason, standing underneath the cold AC while the air is blasting me, it helps me to calm down. And I realize it's probably, there's this, I don't want to do too much talking, y'all, but they sent this to me recently. I just recently learned this. I didn't even know that was why. I think they were trying to teach me something. I don't know. Sometimes with the technology, they'll send me information randomly. They like a lot of the time they're insulting me and, you know, doing tactics, but sometimes they send me valuable info. And recently they did send me a video talking about tachycardia because I do have anxiety. And with anxiety, your heart rate speeds up. That's called tachycardia. And that can happen sometimes too if you're like a child and you're in the hospital and you're given medication and they give you like a little bit too high of a dosage. That can also cause tachycardia where your heart rate speeds up. And so they said something that will help is putting cold water on you. And I think it's something with the nervous system and feeling that cold water, it slows the heart rate down. And so I believe the cayenne pepper, drinking that helps obviously because it opens the blood vessels. I know that for fact. And I think the reason I like going under the cold AC and breathing that air in is because it's doing the same thing that the cold water does, where it slows the heart rate down. And so the combination helps me. Whenever I do the heavy squatting and I have the big mask on my face and I'm feeling lightheaded, I drink the water with the cayenne pepper and I go under the AC and I'm like, ah, and I feel okay. And I go right back to squatting like nothing happened. Anyway, so they know I do that though. They know I go under the AC, and I've talked about it in my videos too. The fact that I use the AC to catch myself after doing these heavy ass lifts. They know I do that. They watch me. They watch my routine. So today now, because I'm leading into what this video is about, y'all. This is what this is about, talking about what happened in the gym today. You know, I always have to run my mouth and give a little bit of backdrop story before I get to what the video is about. Y'all, let me blow my nose again. I'll be back. Okay, y'all, so as you can see, there's one more clip, that 25-minute clip in 9 seconds, and then video's over, right? But we're going to take a brief intermission because like I told y'all, one of the tactics they've been using ever since I posted those videos on Facebook, that's what it's really about. Me posting Facebook's videos on Facebook, taking simple, irrelevant videos in the gym of me lifting heavy and posting it to Facebook and getting a decent reaction, which most females or anyone my age really that has friends on Facebook, even if you're a target, will typically get some sort of decent interaction or reaction if you post something that's cool. That's normal, but of course, because I'm targeted, it's a problem. And also, I think it's deeper than that too. I really don't know what the issue is. But nonetheless, they've been attacking me ruthlessly, like I've been saying, my looks and stuff, right? So one of the tactics they were using when I was in the gym like 2 days ago, or it might have been day before yesterday. What's today? Today's Tuesday. It might have been on Friday, or it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or Friday. I can't remember. I think it was Friday, actually. You know, I'm wearing the altitude training mask as I was just discussing in that last clip. I'm in the gym working out and I had Future song Mask Off, playing on the phone while I'm doing the workout. So, you know, they can hear my thoughts, of course, and they can hear what I'm listening to with the brain to computer interface technology. And again, y'all, check out the links in the description box and comment section if you're new to these terms and this technology. I share a plethora of info in both of those locations, in the description box and comment section. Info about the technology used on targets, the tactics, etc. So anyway, with the brain to computer interface technology, and they have patents for this technology, y'all. It's in the description box and comment section. With this technology, they can hear your thoughts in real time. It's literally technological telepathy. So they hear the music I'm listening to, and they're always doing stupid crap with the music I'm listening to. They're either getting annoyed and getting in their feelings about the music I'm listening to, or they're creating false narratives with it, or trying to take a dig at me with the music I'm listening to, especially recently since I've posted these videos. So the Mask Off song came on, and I noticed the bird drone, which is another form of technology they use, y'all. They don't just use insects, they use birds as well. There's a whole conspiracy theory out there, y'all. I'm not trying to make this video too long. With those people that know about these birds that look like real birds, and they use real birds, by the way, y'all, just like they use real insects to create these drones. There's a conspiracy theory out there that all the real birds are dead and are replaced with these drones, and this is how they surveil everyone at all times. I don't really buy into the theory that all the birds are dead. I just don't believe that. But I do realize now that they are surveilling everyone with these birds. Of course, if you're a target, the focus is on you and they're honed in on you. But just know these birds are on the power line surveilling everything at all times. I know that now that I'm a target. Everywhere that I go on this island, I'm hearing those birds. Not regular birds. These are drones. And again, to validate your experience, because I know you've experienced hearing weird bird sounds and weird activities with birds. If you're a target, you might have caught on that they're drones. You might have caught on to that by now, or you might be catching on. Check out the video in the description box. It's a military video that talks about these drones. Look it up. Just go online and type in bird drones and you'll find a plethora of info on it. Anyway, so while I was working out in the gym and the Mask Off song came on, one of the bird drones dived down by the window. I was standing up trying to catch my breath and I was facing outside of the gym. Of course, I had my mask on. One of the birds dived down. So, of course, I just chuckled. I just rolled my eyes and I chuckled. And coincidentally enough, the most I always comes in clutch when they're doing what they do to me. The next song that came on was I Got It. The song with this African girl, and it's called I Got It. She's just talking about the fact that she knows she has it. So anyway, nonetheless, I just start going ham, of course, working out still and just ignoring them. I just chuckled and then I'm going ham to the song I Got It when it came on, right? But of course, everybody on island, like I told you, is watching at all times. Like I said, it's about a population of 44 to 45,000 people, rough estimate. They're all watching and there's a good chunk of them that are involved in my targeting. Some people stay out of it. They are impartial to it all. There are some people that actively get involved, but everyone is watching. And so those people that choose to get involved, it's like this follow fashion type thing, like mentality where one person doesn't and everybody has to start doing what they see one person do. So because they did the mask off thing, now they're kind of trying to use that a little bit as this new stupid thing to antagonize me. It's similar to the dude, right? The trainer dude that made the GANGSTALKING stuff amp up in the gym in the first place, right? If you've been keeping up with my videos, you know what I'm talking about. Where he was insinuating that I was trash. Before I had the reaction that I had to him that has everybody up in arms and I'm the villain, right? Gaslighting as usual. Anyway, when he insinuated that I was trash, everyone started, not everyone, but the people, like I said, that get involved started doing this stupid tactic when I'm walking by acting like they're changing the trash. So it's like this annoying follow fashion thing and everybody's watching you at all times. And if one of them does want something, then they all start doing it. The people that do get involved. It's so irritating. And so just now when I was mentioning the mask thing in the last clip, they're already making noise in the background. As soon as I started talking about the hack squats, y'all heard me say that. They're just, again, trying to shut me down and still doing the stupid narratives, right? Not the narratives, tactics. As soon as I start mentioning the mask, you have somebody rev by on the road. That's why I paused it and I told y'all, hold on. And then I rewinded it back. And that's why just now I told y'all when this clip is done, we're going to go to my Facebook and look at some pictures of me with no filter and no mask on, right? Because I know I don't look bad with my mask off. What they're doing is they're trying to lower my self-esteem. They know I'm in the house looking a hot mess, right? I'm in a depressed state. I'm dragging around looking stink. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Y'all know what it is when you're having a hard time or you're having a rough patch in life and you're moving around how you're moving around in your home. But I don't have privacy, so they're seeing me at all times. They're seeing me with my face looking greasy, with the stocking cap on, wearing holy clothes, and then when I get myself together, I get myself together. And that's why in 2023, whenever I would wash my face and all I would do was put on a low lip gloss and comb my hair and put on clothes, I get in the car. When I was listening to the radio, I don't even listen to the radio anymore. They use the radio on you too in the targeting. I've talked about this in prior videos. They'd be putting songs on the radio like you need makeup to look good and that type of stuff like that. Songs like that. Insinuating basically that I only look good when I get myself together. Mind you, I don't wear makeup. I wear lip gloss and sometimes I'll shade my eyebrows in. Most girls do that. I don't put not a lick of makeup on my face. But anyway, it's just all tactics to antagonize and tear me down. And the reason they're doing it so hardcore now, like I said, this last week and a half is simply because I posted videos on Facebook with me lifting heavy. And it got somewhat of a decent reaction. That's literally what it's about. It's crazy to me. Anyway, so let me go over to Facebook, y'all, real quick. Let's just knock down the tactic real quick, right? And I have videos too, y'all. I don't have just pictures with no filter. I have videos. Hold on a second. Let's just slide up into my profile pictures, right? So y'all, this is an old profile picture. This is no filter. This was for my 32nd birthday when I had my hair done. I fixed up my face. I was looking nice. This was one of those times where they were going ham on the radio about needing makeup to look good. But I had really got myself together. This was at the end of 2023. So December of 2023 was when I took this picture. And actually, this was before I got in the gym. Remember, I told y'all I was working out for about 3 months at my house before I got the gym membership at the beginning of last year, the beginning of 2024. So this picture, is a year and a half old. It's actually from the end of 2023. Y'all know I'm 33 now. I'm making 34 at the end of the year. My birthday's in December. No filter, right? I had just got my hair laid. My sister laid my hair for me, right? I put on a little bit of lipstick because it was my birthday. Did my eyebrows and I took this picture. And the reason it looks like, risque or whatever, that's a sports bra and a short pants. I was doing a workout, my first workout update / birthday update. So this was like a picture for my 32nd birthday. And it was also showing the results I had gotten from simply working out in the house. I hadn't even gotten into the gym yet with this picture. This one's filtered. I'm not gonna lie. This was actually from 2022. So this was before I left Island, y'all. This was another birthday pic, by the way. This birthday pic was actually from 2021. I posted it in 2022, April of 2022. But as y'all can see, it says number flirty 30, number December 22nd, number Capricorn, number throwback, number 2021. This is the only filtered picture I have in my profile pics. And it was taken at a close range. My sister and I were on the dock for my birthday. I was targeted then too, by the way, y'all. But it wasn't viral. I hadn't tried to relocate off island and it hadn't gone viral yet. The targeting was like relatively new. And I did not know I was a target at the time. I knew weird stuff was happening. I didn't know I was a target at the time. This is the only filtered pic I have. And by the way, y'all, this is how I typically dress when I have money. I'm sorry, I need to blow my nose, y'all. And I'm getting worked up and excited. You know how it is. Then you have all these people antagonizing and harassing you. Anyway, this is typically how I look when I have money. I was a teacher at this time. I was doing security at night. I had a new car I had paid off in full. I had an apartment. This was before I tried to relocate off island, before my targeting went viral. Because they try to paint these false narratives like I'm living off my parents and this and that. They know where I was at before things got this bad. They know there were cameras in my apartment. I was trying to cook and I was being antagonized, similar to like what's happening now, right? Had neighbors outside of the door doing weird stuff while I'm in the kitchen cooking, having access to me in the privacy of my apartment. I'm not going to even go into the details of it, y'all. But this was when I had money and this is typically how I dress. So I don't go around dressed like a dude. And by the way, y'all, when I say dressed like a dude, y'all see those videos, right? You see how I look. You saw that video at the beginning of this video, right? That clip with me doing the hack squats. And you saw the last 2 videos I posted. That's how I'm dressing, in gym clothes, tights and a t-shirt. Sometimes it's a little loose, the pants. That's how I'm dressing. I don't look like a dude. I wouldn't date any dude that looked like that. I know I don't look like a dude. But they're trying to paint this narrative, just one of the many false narratives would be like I'm a dyke because I'm only wearing that type of clothes. Most of the clothes I had, I don't have anymore. When I tried to relocate off island in 2022, and I was dealing with all the targeting and gang stalking in the States, before I came back here to the island where my targeting started, I ended up giving all my majority of my clothes away in Tennessee because it was just way too much clothes. And I was trying to travel across state and I was being gang stalked like crazy. I gave away all my clothes. I don't have money now. I don't really get my nails done like that. I don't go out like that. So I'm carrying myself in a rough manner, but I typically dress like a girl. Anyway, moving on now, y'all. No filter. You can see every blemish in my face. You can even see the little scar in between my eyebrows. I'm not Halle Berry, but I don't need a mask on my face. They need to stop. All right, moving to the next picture. No filter. Again, I did have like a resting bitch face going on, but no filter. Another thing they like to do, y'all, is tease me about my hair. My hair is badly broken right now. I'm dealing with a lot of stress. They keep hinting stuff about thyroid. I don't think I'm having a thyroid issue because I'm working out and I'm taking care of myself, right? But I'm dealing with a lot of stress and high cortisol. So that's very dangerous regardless of how well you take care of yourself. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing to maintain myself. Because if I wasn't working out, I probably would be in the hospital right now. But nonetheless, this was my hair. You couldn't even see the difference between my hair and the extensions that I had in because my hair was so long before I tried to relocate off island. I literally chopped my hair off right before we moved into this house when we were living in the old neighborhood. And when I was combing my hair out in the mirror in the bathroom, they were making so much noise because my hair was so long. And I took the scissors and I just kept chopping and chopping because I'm used to just chopping my hair off and it growing back. And it has been having the hardest time. I've been having the hardest time growing my hair back. And they keep teasing me with the technology and saying, when you're evil, your hair stops growing. And just sending me horrible stuff. And then hinting to me that it's the technology. And they just keep sending me all kinds of horrible stuff. Just another tactic trying to freaking bully and antagonize me. But nonetheless, y'all, my hair was long. It was so long you couldn't even tell the difference between my hair and the extensions I had in. I'm taking care of it. It's growing back now. I have made some progress, but it is still damaged, and that's another form of bullying. But this is me, no filter, no mask, right? And this is also me, no filter, no mask. Again, you can see I looked relatively chipper, right? I was targeted and I was going through it like crazy, but not like now. It was a whole different thing back then. That was my new car you see me sitting in. I had AC and everything. The car was paid off in full. Anyway, y'all, so I had to do that intermission because, again, they're trying to antagonize and bully while I'm making this video. So back to the video, y'all. Let me play the last clip for y'all, and then I'm going to end the video. I even have videos, y'all, with no filter, but I'm not about to, I'm not about to go through all that right now. All right, y'all, I'm back to finally finish this video. So anyways, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back to finally finish this video. So anyways, y'all, let me get to the point of what the video is about, the gang stalking that happened in the gym today. They didn't have too much activity going on. They had one of the guys that they have used on me recently, like over the course of the last 2 months, they've been using this guy on me. I call him Waterboy. Any of the dudes that they use in there to sensitize me to the false narrative of thirst. Remember I told you one of the bullying tactics that they use to antagonize me, as retribution for what happened with the trainer, is to insinuate that I'm thirsty, right? And I've already told y'all how that's a contradiction anyway, because not even a contradiction, it's irony, because in their efforts to gang stalk me and make me feel thirsty, they're actually truly following the classic Urban Dictionary definition of thirst, because obviously they're not going by the true definition of thirsty. Thirsty means drinking water, right? They're using some sort of figurative representation, right? It's symbolic. So they'll drink the water, showing the true definition of thirst to insinuate the Urban Dictionary definition that I'm thirsty for a man, right? But inadvertently, they're actually acting thirsty because the Urban Dictionary definition of thirst is to seek attention or try to get someone's attention. And that's all they're doing. They keep trying to get my attention with the gang stalking tactics. Like, you coming around and sipping the water for me to see you is you being thirsty because you wanted me to see you so you could knock at me, right? Whatever your motive is, that's thirst. You purposely blocking the mirror to antagonize me, that's thirst. So it's like irony at its finest. But nonetheless, whatever, right? This is one of the tactics they use. It's one of the many tactics. It's just like retribution, and it goes deeper than just that dude. I mean, that's why they amped up with the targeting in the gym. But it's like they're mixing the whole narrative of my targeting and the whole theme of my targeting, which is bearing false witness and pushing false narratives. So they're purposely like pushing all these false narratives at me as some sort of like vigilante retribution. So anyways, I call him Waterboy because those dudes that they use, the ones that they use to sip the water and antagonize me, I'm going to just call him Waterboy. So he's a Waterboy. And they've been using him on me. Like, he's one of the many ones that they use in there. So he's in there as soon as I get in there. And I noticed this older guy over by the Smith machine area. But I didn't get over there yet. I typically try to stay to myself and I'm not all over the place. So I go like section by section in order of the workouts that I do. So that way it's like I'm not all over the place. So he's set up on a machine right next to the one that he knows I'm going to use. They all know my routine in there. So I'm going in there to use the first thing, the leg extension machine. All my workout clothes was dirty today. So I had to throw a short pants on, which were dirty today, not was. Dreading doing because of the false narrative of me being thirsty. I am so freaking particular about how I move because of the false narratives that they've thrown at me. But nonetheless, I had to wear it. All my clothes are dirty, right? And I'm broke. Y'all know I'm struggling. I don't get paid until Friday. I'm not embarrassed to say it because you targets know how it is, right? And what we go through. So anyways, I don't get paid until Friday, and so I had to make it work with what I had. So I didn't do my adductors or my abductors today because I was wearing the short pants. It's like, nah, I'm not doing that today. I'm gonna cut that part of the workout out today. So I just went on the leg extension machine. I was doing my leg extensions. Of course, he's sitting over there, the water boy, on the machine nearby. And another tactic they like to do to antagonize me, because they know it irritates me and it makes me uncomfortable, is they'll set these water boys up to sit on these machines near me to stare in their phone. They're not working out. Like they'll be working out, like fake working out. Like they'll do a few reps, but they're really sitting there for me. And so they'll sit there on the machine and just purposely stare in their phone and not work out. Like while I'm doing most of my reps, from the majority of the time that I'm doing my reps, they're sitting there staring in their phone, and I know they're staring at me, right? So it's just like, again, this passive aggressive antagonization. So that already annoyed me, but I still didn't say anything. I didn't cuss him. I didn't whatever. I just mind my business. I just at one point did kind of put my head like, oh my God, because it's exasperating. I hate when they do it and they keep doing it. It's like so tiring. When are you going to stop doing this dumb crap? Excuse me. And when I actually drove down there too, they had some street theater set up. I drove down the hill before I could even turn into the plaza where my gym is. They had street theater outside. It, like at the very entrance of the plaza, they had a cop cut into the traffic right in front of my car as I came over the hill, right? And then when I look and I see two cars on both sides, like something was going on and a bunch of people around the two cars. In one car, there was this lady that, came out, and she, I'm not going to say what she looked like. And I think that was shadow networking. Gang stalking as well. Like all her hair was cut off and her eyebrows were cut off. I think they were purposely trying to, you get what I'm saying with that. They've gang stalked in that way before too, insinuating that before, but they haven't done that in a while. And then there was a guy in an army pants and a red shirt standing by her. And then on the other side, there was a bunch of people, and this girl. Y'all, what I'm talking about is the C word. You know the illness, right? Okay. Wearing a short black pants. So it was gang stalking from the get before I even got to the gym. I'm like, why are they doing this today? I just chuckled. I didn't get nasty. I didn't cuss. I didn't squint up my eyes. I just chuckled. I said, why are they doing this today? And I know they knew I was about to record myself doing the hack squat, because I was thinking in my head before I got there, I don't know why I do this and set myself up for failure. I always know they're going to do strippiness when they know I'm going to record. But sometimes I almost feel like I want to do the warning just in case, because I feel like it might cause trouble if I just do it. Like, I don't know. It's like you move tiptoey when you're targeted and you've dealt with enough tactics. So sometimes I'll like make the announcement in my head. Like I'll think in my head, man, I think I'm going to record myself today. Just so it's like they'll be prepared that I'm going to record myself. Like I feel like I have to announce it because of all the weird stuff that happens. So anyway, I had already kind of in my head thought that I was going to record myself squatting 370 on the Smith machine. So I'm like, is this why they did this? At the entrance with the theater, I was like, I don't know. But I just kind of chuckled. I didn't say anything. I just said, why are they doing this today? And I chuckled. Then I pull up to the gym. I go in the gym. They had the water boy, like I said, set up, sitting. And this happens all the damn time. So this is nothing new. Had him set up on the machine, doing fake, reps or whatever, a few reps, sitting there staring at me in his phone while I'm doing my leg extensions. So I was almost done with it, and I do remember just kind of getting exasperated and annoyed and just kind of putting my head back like this, and then I just continued my reps. I didn't say anything disrespectful. I didn't look over at him. I didn't glare at him. I just put my head up, like I was exasperated, because I am so tired of this. I really am. Because I am, so tired of this. But I was just like, finish what you're doing, Sharifa. And I also struggle on the leg extension machine. I've told y'all this already in prior videos. Out of every leg workout I do in that gym, I'd be squatting big, heavy 370 pounds. The most painful workout in that gym for me is the leg extension machine. And it's because the leg extension, the way it's set up, 100% of the weight is going on the quad muscle. No other workout is putting 100% of the weight on the quad, not even hack squats. 100% of that weight is going on the quad muscle. And that's why it's so freaking painful. And so I have trouble pushing through the pain barrier. And so sometimes I'm having trouble getting all my reps done or going to failure. And I'm not getting the full benefit of that workout. I still haven't been able to push past the pain barrier. It's like I'm a really strong girl, but I have a low pain tolerance at the same time. Certain things. It's hard to explain. I don't have a low pain tolerance. Obviously, working out is all about tearing muscle. So you have to be strong and have a high pain tolerance to work out. But specifically for certain feelings, I have, if that makes sense, I have a low pain tolerance. And something about that feeling, like it feels like fire to the quad muscle. It feels like, the way I would describe it is like somebody taking a torch to the quad muscle is what it feels like. it's just so painful. I have trouble pushing through it. And it's like been the hardest workout for me to do correctly. Anyway, so I'm already annoyed that I'm struggling to get through this. And then I have this person sitting here staring at me. It's so irritating. But anyway, I just kind of like put my head back like I was exasperated, and then I just continued to do my work. I didn't say nothing to him. I didn't look at him. I didn't think anything negative. Got up from there. I go now to do my hack squats, right? I get over there. I see this new face in the gym. I'm always wary when I see new faces because 9 times out of 10, it's a new gang stalker. Like, it's always a new gang stalker. It's never not that. Like, so it's 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a gang stalker. So I didn't know what it was. And, I've been dealing with this for months now at this point, for a year and change now, right? Well, months, I would say, about a year now, since things have gotten real bad in there. So I get over there. As soon as I get in the area, he's walking, kind of pacing back and forth in front of the machine I'm about to use. So that made it even more obvious that he's likely a gang stalker, and I had never seen him before. I'm like, oh boy. So I do remember feeling annoyed, but I didn't say anything. I didn't roll my eyes. I didn't think anything negative. I just felt annoyed. I don't know if they can feel my feelings too. I mean, with how high-tech the technology is, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe on the screen with the computer interface, there's something that pops up and says, target annoyed. I don't know. But I felt annoyed. I didn't say anything though, and I definitely wasn't rude or disrespectful. So anyway, I went on the machine, and I sat up and started doing my squats at 230. He's over there deadlifting, right? He's doing deadlifts near me. So another person that's set up to work out in my space. I don't own the gym, right? So I don't want it to sound like I'm some pompous bitch, because that's how they try to gaslight and think that I own the gym. That's not the case at all. But they have been literally setting gang stalkers up on top of me in that gym. So anyways, he's doing his little thing on the Smith machine, right? So I ignored him. I'm not paying attention to him. I'm like, okay, as long as he's not blocking me, as long as he's not doing anything to interfere with my workout, I'm used to the stupid crap anyway. Let me just ignore him and do my workout. So I'm doing the workout, and I notice, as soon as I finish like my first rep, he all of a sudden stops with what he's doing, and he moves over to the area where I'm trying to catch my breath underneath the AC vent. After I did my first set of reps, he's doing deadlifts on the Smith machine. I was able to complete my first 12 reps at 230 pounds on the hack squat machine while he's on the deadlift machine. Then I went underneath the AC vent to catch my breath. They study me. They know this is what I do. Every time I squat, I do this. After every rep, I go under the AC vent to catch my breath. The AC vent I usually go under that's next to the Smith machine was turned off. So they know the next AC vent I'm going to go to is that other one that's in that same area. So I went to the AC vent. And I'm catching my breath. I'm just breathing and catching my breath. Then I went back on the machine, right? I start doing more squats. I did 2 more sets at 12 reps. Then I put the 270 on. So now we're getting real heavy. I'm really going to get out of breath now. And I'm wearing my mask. I put the 270 on. Soon as I put the 270 on, he moves over now. He pulls a bench right underneath, pulls it right up. He could have put the bench anywhere. It's that mobile bench that you move around, right? It's this big, huge area. He could have pulled the bench anywhere. He pulled the bench right underneath the AC. And so I'm standing underneath the AC catching my breath. He said, excuse me. He said, excuse me, I'm about to be here. And he sits back on the machine and he starts doing chest flies with these dumbbells. So it's like now this AC is blocked. I can't come under here and breathe. And the one I typically go under is closed. So I'm like, so this is how they're gang stalking now. It's like blocking up the AC. I'm standing underneath this to catch my breath. You see me here panting and catching my breath. Now he's coming right up underneath the AC with the bench. Could have went anywhere with the bench. Right underneath the AC where I'm standing and catching my breath. These are the gang stalking tactics I talk about, and they make it like I'm acting like I own the gym. Similar to when I'm squatting on the Smith machine, and they'll purposely come and stand directly in front of the mirror and go close in front of the mirror and block me from seeing myself squatting so that they can do dumbbell flies or whatever. When it's this big, huge mirror, they have free weights in their hands. They can stand at any part in the mirror. I can't pick the Smith machine up and move. You can take the dumbbells and go in any part of the mirror. You decide to stand directly in the direct line of vision of the Smith machine. As soon as I start my reps, by the way, and block me. It's gang stalking tactics. And then it's gaslighting when I get upset about it to paint it like I'm just this pompous bitch that thinks I own the gym. No, you're gang stalking. So anyways, nonetheless, so now it's like this kind of way where he's blocking the AC so I can't breathe. So I remember when he did that, I remember moving back and trying to, still squeeze myself under, and I just could not fit underneath the AC vent anymore. So I remember just kind of shaking my head slightly, but I didn't want problems in there, right? So I didn't think anything negative. I didn't shake my head real hard or look at him and glare at him or anything like that. I slightly shook my head like this, like, oh my God, it's always something. I knew he was a gang stalker. I didn't even think that, but I felt that way. But I slightly just shook my head, and I just politely carried myself to the back room to catch my breath. And I started using the AC vent in the back room. So I continued doing my reps, going back and forth. I'm having to walk now all the way to the back room to catch my breath underneath the AC vent. But I'm doing it. I'm not complaining. I'm not thinking anything negative. I'm not glaring at the man. I'm just doing my reps, doing my workout like everyone else in the gym. So now I get to my last set. Remember I told y'all my last set of 12 I do at 370 pounds. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna record myself today, right? So I set the camera up and I recorded myself. And by the way, y'all, I'm gonna insert a clip of me doing the 10 reps at 370 pounds when I'm done with the video. I might actually insert it. You know what? I'm gonna insert it at the beginning of the video. So I'll even put a disclaimer at the beginning, letting you all know, that you just saw me squatting 370, and then the video will begin. So at this point in the video now, you've already seen me squatting the 370 because that's what I'm deciding I'm gonna do. Anyways, y'all, you obviously, like I said, if you're at this point in the video, you've already seen at the beginning me squatting the 370. I was not able to complete the 12 reps. I did the last time when I wasn't recording myself, but that time I had actually pulled the mask down halfway through the squats. I think I was on like the 7th rep, and then I pulled the mask underneath my nose. This time I purposely kept the mask up. Excuse me, and I would not pull it down. I wanted to get through the full 12 reps without pulling the mask down. And in the video, I know you guys saw me when I got to the 8th rep. That's around the time when I start feeling real out of breath. When I got to the 8th rep, I kind of put my hand like I was going to pull it down, and I stopped myself. And so I was able to complete 10 reps, which is hypertrophy too. I was able to complete 10 reps at 370, slow reps, all the way down. And then I was like, okay, I had to stop because I was feeling like I was going to pass out. And I stopped, and that's where you see the video stop. And I go catch my breath. And then after I caught my breath, y'all, I went back and I did the last 2 reps that I didn't do. So I did do 12 reps, but it was split up. I didn't do it 12 straight. But I did 10 straight reps at 370. That's what y'all saw at the beginning of the video. Anyway, y'all, so after I finished everything and I did the 370 at 10, and then I caught my breath, and then I did the last 2, I start taking down the weights, and coincidentally, they saw that I didn't put this on. My phone was all the way over wherever it was at, on the floor. This is just on my playlist. They already know this song is on my playlist. I've talked about the songs in prior videos and how it got on the playlist. It's something they sent to me with the shadow networking. Anyway, the song, I'm the biggest, the largest, and in the song it's talking about haters and, me, they hating on me because I'm the biggest, I'm the largest. It's just coincidental because I just squatted the big 370, and then that happens, that song comes on. I didn't put it on, but I've already told you already, look how they're getting worked up in the background now. It's just crazy Delulu stuff, I'm telling you. Now you hear somebody go, rum, rum, with the grass cutter, and then they turned it off. This is what I'm talking about, right? So it's just like crazy delusional stuff. Anyway, so after that song came on, right, the insect drone flies by. So I remember just swatting at it and then just chuckling. It's not like I said, yep, I am, or anything like that. Or I went, I didn't say anything. I just chuckled, and it just so happened that they were also using a gang stalker to block up the area where they know I try to catch my breath. So it just, I guess, infuriated or rubbed the wrong way or something. I don't know, really. But the song came on, it always comes on, it's always on my playlist. I was taking the weight down when it came on. Sometimes I'll change it just not to inflame anything in there. I'll sometimes change it, but sometimes I'll leave it on. Like, it's music. Everyone else listens to what they want to listen to. I can listen to what I want to listen to. So anyway, I'm taking the place down. Like I said, the song came on. They fly by. So I just swatted at it playfully, and I just chuckled. And I just continued to take the weights down. It's not like I said, yes, I am, or thought some nasty, pompous thought. It was nothing like that. I just start taking the weights down. I notice, after I take the weights down, I start setting up the Smith machine. I see the owner fly from behind the desk now. He comes out. He's wearing yellow shoes, by the way, which is indicative of support for the main trainer dude that caused all the gang stalking that's been happening in the gym. If you've been keeping up with the videos, y'all will understand how yellow got inserted. It's, a time he came in looking like a banana split, wearing all yellow and, doing gang stalking stuff. This is when he was still actively in there gang stalking me. And I remember he was blocking the mirror or whatever. And I said, damn, look at him looking like a banana split blocking up the mirror. I said, move it, lickety split, lickety split. I didn't say that. I thought it in my head. I'm just a clown. Like, I think stupid stuff when you're doing the crap, man. I just think it's all just dumb stupidness, man. So I said, move it, lickety split. I thought that in my head or whatever. And so ever since then, they've been using yellow on me, gang stalking me with yellow and stuff. So anyway, so he's wearing the yellow shoes. So that's in support of the dude, obviously. And I already know he supports the dude. That dude is like a main trainer in there. He even calls the owner daddy. Like last time I was there talking to the owner trying to pay, this was like a week ago, I was trying to pay my gym fee. And he came up next to me and was asking the owner for some tools. He was fixing something. And he said, daddy, you know, something, like he called him daddy. I know it's not his dad, but that's, you know, so that's just to show you the relationship they have. So he's riding hard for that dude, right? So just like everyone else is like, F me, right? So anyways, he comes out now. He flies out while I'm setting up the Smith machine. He starts acting like he's cleaning the area and he's back and forth in the bathroom acting like he's cleaning. You know, I guess like a shot at me. Because remember, in my house, I told y'all, this is embarrassing, but at this point, I don't even have a shame box anymore. You know, I've been so degraded in the targeting and I've been through so much, like, I don't feel ashamed anymore. So much stuff has been exposed and false narratives and whatever else. I could give a rat's ass, to be honest with you. I don't care. I really don't. But nonetheless, I told y'all already that people in the house have been depressed. A lot of us are going through different things. I'm targeted. I've definitely been depressed. My younger sister has been through some things. Things are kind of looking up in her life right now, but she's been through some things. She's even talked to me about the fact that she's suffering with depression. My mom's suffering with depression. I mean, everybody's going through something in here. And so the house is a mess. It's not how we typically keep it. You know, this is why I also was saying I feel like something spiritual is going on. Because typically, my parents are very funny. You know, and it's not like, it's to the point where they wouldn't even let company over. Like my grandparents, when they were alive, come over if the house was a mess. Now the house could look any old way. The floor's a mess. Whatever's going on. The cameras are in here. Everyone, the whole 45,000 people on island. Yeah, hold on. Let this loud thing drive by. Hold on. Oh my God, now we got loud music playing. Y'all, so much noise started just then, right? Big, loud, annoying truck driving by, big, loud music playing. Like, so much noise started just then when this is really, truly what's happening. You know how much times they've made references in the targeting to the state of the house? Even before I lost my job, they were doing all kinds of stuff, you know, anyway. One of the things that they were doing was power cleaning, and it was like an insinuation or a jab at the state of my home. Like, I'm telling you, they are taking jabs like crazy on the state of the house that we are living in right now. And the house we were staying in the old neighborhood was in a completely different state. It's just real bad in this house. And have access to what's going on in our house, and they don't care. Y'all, let me just rewind it back since I had to pause it. Let me just rewind it back a little. I mean, everybody's going through something in here. And so the house is a mess. It's not how we typically keep it. You know, this is why I also was saying I feel like something spiritual is going on. Because typically, my parents are very funny. You know, and it's not like, it's to the point where they wouldn't even let company over. Like my grandparents, when they were alive, come over if the house was a mess. Now the house could look any old way. The floor's a mess. Whatever's going on. The cameras are in here. Everyone, the whole 45,000 people on island have access to what's going on in our house. And they don't care. Like, it's just like just letting the cameras in here. You know, they're doing all kind of embarrassing gang stalking outside, insinuating that we're nasty. And they don't care. I don't understand. Don't give a rat's. That's why I said I feel like something spiritual is going on. Anyway, so nonetheless, the house is a mess. You know, we sometimes get it together and we clean it up. But it's a mess sometimes. And it's a very old house. It's my grandparents' house. They've had it for decades. The house we used to stay in, somebody hammered in the background when I said that. The house we used to stay in the old neighborhood was much cleaner. It was in a much better state than this one. This one, we came in with issues and we didn't really put it together all the way, right? Nonetheless, they're running with it on island, right? And it's a part of the running, bullying tactics that they use. So I guess that's why he was doing the cleaning thing as a shot at me, because I guess I squatted heavy and recorded myself. And the song "I'm the Biggest, the Largest" came on, even though I didn't put it on. I don't know. You know, it's just like stuff to be happening like that in there, where I don't do anything but regular stuff. And then it's like I feel like I'm getting like covertly attacked. So anyways, and again, I know this all stems back to that dude. So anyways, now after he does that, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't care. You know, I'm just going to keep working out. You know, I haven't really had any major issues with the gym owner. It's like an up and down thing with him and I, where it's like this weird kind of, I don't want to say frenemy. That's a stretch, but it's almost like it would emulate a frenemy type of thing, the relation that him and I have, where it's like sometimes he's friendly and laugh with me, he has a good personality, and it's like this camaraderie ship, and he gives me tips and stuff. And then other times if he's feeling some kind of way, you know, he's like doing subliminal covert stuff. This is not the first time he's done covert stuff, but like this is the first time I'm actually truly making a video about it, because it went too far. Like what he said, I was like, what the heck? What did I do to deserve that? So anyways, so he's doing the cleaning thing and I'm just ignoring it, right? I'm just squatting. And so I start now purposely squatting at certain parts in the song. Like there was a song that came on and it was saying, I'm getting stronger with time. And so I purposely squat down at that part. Like I was squatting down at certain, like not taking shots like at you, like more so just shots at bigging myself up is what I started doing when I started stripping this. But anyway, so I'm just squatting still. I'm not thinking anything negative. I'm acting like I'm not seeing what's going on. I'm squatting and doing my thing. I noticed my earphone, one of the earphones loses power, right? The left one, so I can now hear the conversation in the gym. I'm at my last set and I'm about to be finished with the workout. The same dude that they were using to block up the AC, he sits down in the area. The owner starts talking to him and said, man, he going off, he going off. This is directed convo, acting like they're talking about someone, but they're talking about me. And I know they know my earphone stopped working. They can hear what's going on in my ears with the technology. It's called brain to computer interface. So anyway, this is not the first time that directed convo has been directed at me when my earphones went out, right? So this is why I try not to let my earphones go out when I'm in that gym, because I don't want to get deterred from directed convo. So anyway, he said, yeah, that guy really going off, he about watch out, because somebody gonna end up killing somebody gonna end up killing he. That's what he said after he done did the cleaning gang stalking, acting like he's cleaning or whatever. Then he went back there and I'm squatting the 230 now and I'm squatting it hard, it's, whenever they start doing their stripping, I start moving like extra this kind of way, but I don't say anything derogatory. I didn't say anything derogatory and you came at me first anyway. So I'm squatting and he starts talking to the dude like, he going off and he better be careful. Somebody out there might end up killing he. I'm like, killing? I didn't even think anything of it. I just stayed quiet in my head. I was just chuckling to myself. I'm like, what? Is that serious that you're talking about killing because I'm squatting 370? Is that the problem? Like, I didn't understand it. Like, I think if anything good is happening for me, even if it's something as minuscule as like a weight goal, like they were doing a lot of gang stalking in there. I already told y'all when I was deadlifting the 300. But like these little landmarks that I make in the gym, little minuscule things, but it's still something that's impressive. Anything that looks like it's up for me or a win for me, I think it's like something negative in there because they're riding so hard for that dude and they want to see me like fail. Like I don't know how else to say it. That's what I think it is. Like they don't want to see me doing good in there. That's what it feels like because I didn't do anything to deserve that other than just squat heavy and record myself. I think he's just really riding for that dude. Anyway, so nonetheless, y'all, they be riding harder for the dude than he riding for himself. I think the dude is okay now. Like, they are riding harder for him in that gym than he's riding for his own damn self. I think the man is okay now. Like, I don't even think it's that serious, like, how they're making it in there. Anyway, whatever the case is, y'all, I had to record it. I was like, what the heck? Because I didn't do anything. I'm like, it's that serious now that we're mentioning killing because I'm squatting 370. What else caused it? And recording myself? I'm like, what the heck? So anyways, I had to talk about it, y'all, because I don't really, I try not to study on the negative stuff and stuff, but sometimes when it goes too far, I have to make a video about it and talk about it, because I'm like, what the heck? Anyways, so that's it, y'all. That's just more documentation. I'm still targeted. I'm still dealing with crazy stuff. More gym gang stalking documentation, but also there is a little bit of positiveness to this video, because it's another gym update, and I squatted 370 on the hack squat, so y'all saw that at the beginning of the video. So I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Peace out. So that's it, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Just a positive and negative update. One of those things, y'all. So another update, another landmark. I was able to squat the heaviest weight that I have ever squatted to date, which is what you saw at the beginning of the video, 370 pounds on the hack squat machine. And then again, more gym gang stalking documentation. Talk to y'all in the next one. Peace out.